Forest Temple. Dungeon time. Alright, so this is our first dungeon as an adult. Prepare yourself, because the difficulty level is about to ramp up seriously. So, right away, we are greeted by two Wolfos. We've seen them before, but we're being double-teamed by them. I don't like how that other Wolfos is to our back. See how much powerful that Master Sword is, though? That's great. Of course, the Giant's Knife would have been even better if it didn't break on us. So you can kind of wait for them to... right before they attack, or you can hold up your shield and let them attack, and then their guard will be down for a moment as well. So however you want to proceed. Obviously, the first option is a little bit more risky, but it's also more time-consuming and more satisfying, if I may say so. Now, before we proceed through that main door there, we first want to climb up the vines here on the side, and right off the bat, we'll see there's a gold Skulltula on the wall there, so don't forget to grab that one on your way through. And then you can carefully walk across here, and you'll see on the other side there's a little tiny chest there. So just to not take the risk of having to jump from one of these tree branches to the other and take the risk of accidentally falling, what we can do is take the cheap way and just target the chest itself. Because remember, the chests are made of wood, and hook shots can stick into them. Now look at this. Here's something we haven't seen before. You found a small key. This key will open a locked door. You can use it only in this dungeon. So that's now a new element of the adult dungeons that also increases the level of difficulty a little bit, is we're going to encounter locked doors. So we'll have to find these small keys in order to progress past them. Is there another Skulltula on the wall here? I know not a gold Skulltula, but I thought there might have been a wall Skulltula, maybe. And remember to hit forward like that to do a roll forward to avoid taking falling damage. Now, look at this here. We've got these Skulltulas here, these hanging ones. Now remember, you can do these two ways. You can walk forward, right, and then wait for them to kind of turn around and then hit them with your sword. But as an adult, here's what I really recommend, is now that we've got the hook shot, we can actually right into their face. Boom. Just like that. Take them out with one hit, and that's how powerful a hook shot is it actually can smash right through their hard exterior shell. Oh, what's going on here now? Ooh. Some interesting looking pose. Yeah, they stole the 4 different colored flames from their torches, and as a result, that little elevator looking thing sunk down, and we can't access it anymore. So basically, this is going to be like sort of the sub-objective of this dungeon, is to try to track down those 4 Poes, defeat them, and get them to return the flames that they stole to those torches in order to get that elevator to come back up again. Let's check out our map here. So far we've only explored these rooms on 2 floors. We've got 47 gold Skulltula tokens now already. So that's not bad. Alright, so how about, let's see, where to proceed. We've got all of these rooms kind of off to the side here. It's an odd looking room with connections to other areas here. But I think what we'll do is just keep going straight forward. Oh, hang on. Whoa! Flying skull was coming right at us. I just wanted to exit here because I just heard that, again, that telltale sign of the gold Skulltulas. Do your best to not miss any of them. Otherwise, you're going to have to come back later. But now we'll enter here. Really quickly, we're going to target this guy and raise our shield, because he kind of kamikazes right into us. You'll see as soon as he hits us, into us there, he loses his sort of protective bubble. This character is called a blue bubble. Guard against his blue flame with your shield. So yeah, when he loses his flame there, and again, it's only a temporary effect. If you wait too long, he regains that protective cloud around him, and then he can start flying again. So while he's hopping around like this, that's the opportunity we need to take advantage of to take care of him there. All right. Uh-oh. Whoa! Now these are some serious enemies. Stalfos. Lure it close to you and watch its movement carefully. Attack it when it drops its guard. So these guys go toe-to-toe to you with sword and shield. Whoa! It's really kind of hard to talk about strategy here because these guys are pretty tough. They can really kind of get over you too with those jumping attacks that they like to do. And their shield is pretty effective at blocking your attacks, so you kind of have to make sure that you're angling yourself and your sword just right. So you can wait until just before they launch attack, they kind of drop their shield a little bit, or after they launch their attack, if you kind of get off to the side and then hit them from their side. But it's one of those things where, once again, it's kind of hard to put into words. It just kind of takes practice. All right, found another small key. That's the nice thing about the small keys is that they don't correspond to any specific door. It's just any locked door requires a small key. So you can kind of treat them the same way that you would require ammo. It's just sort of you have a stock of keys, and you use up one key every time you unlock a door. And then you lose one key. So yeah, you can use them for any locked door, but then once you use a key, that's it. It's gone. You're done with. And do I have any space in my empty bottles? Oh well, I've still got the bottle bugs there. I've already got 2 fairies. I don't think I need to be stocking up on a 3rd one. But anyway, yeah, it looks like this room's a dead end. We only came in here for the purposes of getting that small key. So, and again, raise your shield here because they're basically invulnerable, if I'm not mistaken. Again, for those guys, stabbing forward like that, well, I'm not locked on now, but when you stab forward like that, that's a nice quick attack. But it can be kind of easy for them to evade them, how they like hop around in a circle pattern like that. So sometimes it can be easier to hold left or right to do a horizontal swing like that. It's just a little bit more effective, I find, for targeting them. But anyway, now that we've got 2 keys, now we'll try going off in a different direction. So how about we go this way? Also, you notice there's some pots up here, so maybe we can get some magic or some hearts. Man, this is annoying. There's our heart to top up our health. And so here you can see right here, this is what a locked door looks like. It's all chained up with a big keyhole in the middle. So if we go to open, see that? Automatically opens it and unlocks it. And the nice thing about it too is that it remains permanently unlocked. It's not like you have to use up a key every single time you want to enter that door. And you can see there on the bottom left, it shows the indicator there. Our stock of keys has now gone from 2 to 1. So again, we'll take out our hookshot, take out that Skulltula. Okay. Oh, another blue bubble. Okay. There's a door up there, but it's too high up to get to. And let's explore this area here. Okay, nothing over here. Nothing over here except the ladder, so we'll just have to make our way up. And, boy, confusing kind of a labyrinth area here. Lots of twists and turns. There are arrows painted on the floor. Well, so there are. So that's likely indicating that we've got to go this way. And look here, there's a little sunken spot in the floor here. And that is an indicator that we can come around here and push this big block. continuously pushing it this way. So that's actually what the arrows are pointing you towards. Oh, now here. This is where we want to get it into, but we can't push it down this way now because it's blocking the way. So basically what we want to do is do like this. We'll pull just this far to line it up with the hallway, and then we'll come back around this way, and we'll pull it a little bit. And now that we have pulled it this far, now making our way back around, now it's actually given us some space to come back through that walkway, and we can push it from the other side. Now we'll continue pushing it this way as far as we can, and we've just hit a wall. So now if we come back here this way one more time, we can now push it from this angle. You see the block is just wide enough that it perfectly takes up the full width of this these hallways here. Look at that. Now that it's sunk down, we can actually climb up this way. But upon making our way up this way, we'll find that there's another one of these little sunken areas on the floor, and so that indicates we're going to have to do the same with another block in order to get even higher. Now, there's this block here, so I guess we could pull it this way, but again, we can't pull it all the way because remember, these blocks take up the full width of the walkway. We can't continue to pull it all the way out because then, like, it's going to smush ourselves between the block and the wall. So we can't pull this block any further, which means we're going to have to find some way to get on the other side of the block and push it. So that's actually what we're going to do, is we'll drop all the way back down to where we were. And, oops, there we go. In this area here where we originally found that green block, you may have noticed here that after we cleared out the area, we now have access to this ladder that we didn't before. Why does my nose keep tickling? Someone's thinking of me. Okay, so if we come this way and then around here, here we go. We've got access to the other side of the block, so we'll push it in all the way as far as we can. And there again, you heard that sound effect there that indicates we've pushed it up against the wall. And, oh, here, there's an eye switch on the wall. Unfortunately, we don't have anything we can shoot it with. Our hook shots don't do the trick. You'll remember in some dungeons as a kid we were able to shoot them with our slingshot, but we can't use that anymore. But anyway, log that away for future reference. We'll come back down the ladder, back around this way, and nope, don't push, climb. There we go. And look at that, et voila. Now we can actually push the block all the way to the end of the hallway and sink it down into that little notch. There we go. Now we can climb on top of this block. Alright. And around this way. And up the ladder. What's going on in here? Ooh, a couple more blue bubbles. And look at that, there's a locked door with another eyeball switch above it. Okay, nothing doing there. So I guess we could have just ignored those guys if we wanted to. At any rate, we'll use our last remaining key. And whoa, this is crazy. It's like a fun house in here. This corridor is all twisted. Check this out. Whoa, that doesn't play tricks with your mind. Alright, that's weird. Watch for the shadows of monsters that hang from the ceiling. Alright, so there's a new enemy in this area here. I'm just going to drop down here to the floor to give you a little demonstration. If we linger in an area for too long, the shadow appears above us, and we want to roll out of the way really quickly before that happens. Wallmaster, watch out for its shadow on the floor. Destroy it before it goes back up to the ceiling. So yeah, you want to make sure those guys don't drop right on top of you, because they'll grab you and pull you up, and then you'll respawn again at the beginning of the room, and I think you take some damage as well, so it's not... Ah! We took too long. We'll wait for it again to target us. There comes that shadow around us at our feet. Make sure we keep moving so that we move out of the way before it can land right on top of us. A couple hits will do the trick. Ooh, and some nice 60 rupee prize there. That's all right. But how do we get back up? Well, here's a ladder. Look at that. There's another ladder here, but it's all sideways. And then up there, check up that. There's gold gilded chest. Also on the side of the wall. Isn't that bizarre? There's a treasure chest here. Huh. Alright. Uh-oh. And another locked door. We actually can't proceed any further. Nuts to that. So we're actually going to have to retrace our steps here. And keep doing some exploring until we're able to find another key, and then we'll be able to return. Wish there was a quicker way down here. There we go. And we can just ignore those enemies, right? So we're gonna have to find somewhere else that we haven't gone yet in order to find yet another key. Well, we haven't explored over on this side, but it looks like there's no steps here to get us up to that entranceway. However, there are these archways here. Well, this way looks like it's blocked off by these iron bars. And up above, there's another eyeball switch in case you missed it. So again, we can't do anything there. But what about over here? Well, there's one of those blocks blocking the way that, again, has the same symbol as the Door of Time. We know what that means. We play the Song of Time. And that should get it to disappear. Alrighty, there we go. Whoa. Another one of these. Whoa! Look at that. We even did a jumping attack with double damage, and it still wasn't strong enough to take him out. There's an Octorok. We know how to take care of those guys. We'll just bounce this attack back. There we go. And I hear the rustling of Skulltulas in the area. Oh. What do we got here? There's a well with some vines. So we can climb up the vines here anyway. But nothing doing. There's a Deku Baba up there, but nothing to see here. And nothing over in that little island in the corner on the other side of the bridge. And up top, there's these pillars, but we can't access the top there either. Okay. Aha. However, there are some Skulltulas. So, we can take out that bottom one and maybe be able to reach that one as well. Yep. But I think our hook shot doesn't reach far enough to be able to get that third one at the top. I think it's too far. Yeah. So, as we climb these vines, we're going to have to be real careful as we're passing him. Remember, try to get behind him. If he sees you, he'll turn this color, this purple color, and that indicates that he's kind of charging up an attack, and then he'll rush you. So if we wait until he's not facing us, it should give us just the opportunity there to sneak past him. There we go. You don't want him to rush you while you're on the wall, though. That's not good. He'll do damage, obviously, plus he'll knock you right off, and you have to climb all the way up to the top again. Aha! Ooh, it's a big chest, though. What do we got here? Ah, finally something. The dungeon map. Alright, so let's check out what this dungeon looks like here. 2 floors and 2 basements. So this is a little bit bigger, a little bit more complex of a dungeon than some of the ones we've been in so far. Still not anything too crazy, though. So let's go through here. Ooh. And check this out here. We're going to start seeing these target signs here, and that's an indicator that we can actually... it's intended for a hook shot, so very carefully, if we stand up on the ledge here and target that target sign there with our hook shot, it'll speed us over to here. And now, floor switch. Oh. The well completely drained. Isn't that interesting? So, we can now, if we wanted to, drop down into this area here that we were just in. Although, no, it doesn't look like we were in this area. This is on the other side. Looks very similar, though. But this is basically the kind of thing about it, is that this well is actually directly connected to the other well that we saw out on the other side. There's a chest up there. We target that chest, we can get up there. And now that we're up here, we're actually within hookshot striking distance. We wouldn't have been able to have reached that Skulltula from down here, but now that we're up here, we can grab it. Alright. We've actually got quite a few Skulltulas in here. Gold Skulltulas. And with this drained well, we can now drop all the way down in here. Oof, that hurt. And you'll see this is the whole reason why we wanted to come down here, is there's a small chest. Aha! With the small key that we're looking for. So on that bass side, there was a ladder. Here, there's the vines that we can climb up, and you'll see this brings us out the other well on the other side of the room that we started in. So those two wells are connected on either side. So that's kind of neat. Alright, we will exit. And then make our way back now that we have that small key that we needed. I believe it's this way. Yeah. It's a little bit tricky to get ourselves properly oriented because we still haven't found the compass. That'll help us a lot more on our mini-map when it points us to where we need to go. But anyway, that also gives you an example of how these adult dungeons can be a little bit frustrating. You'll get somewhat further into an area and only to find out that you don't have enough keys, and you'll have to backtrack all the way and keep looking around in other places until you find the key. I'm going to do the best that I can to remember where everything is so that I can minimize the amount of backtracking I'm going to have to do. Though I hope it goes without saying that even though my knowledge of this game is quite extensive, I am not literally inhuman. I am prone to making mistakes every now and then. So I hope you'll bear with me when I do have to do a little bit of backtracking. Anyway, it wasn't that huge of a deal, and it was an opportunity to demonstrate that that will happen to you from time to time. Alright, here we are. Excellent. Now, look at this. There's a picture frame on the wall, but with nothing in it. Totally blank. It's kind of odd. Get down here. There's another one. And then down here, oh, look at that. It's a picture of a Poe. It's one of those 4 special Poes that we were looking for. Though as we approach, look at that. Looks like when we got close, it scared off. And it vanished from the frame. Maybe it went to another frame. Yeah, there it is. Look at that. So that's kind of an interesting mechanic. These Poes will vanish from one frame to another and kind of keep evading you like that. Oh, hey. And here's a torch. It looks like the torches, like those 4 torches in the the main room as we entered the temple, where the flames disappeared from. This is the same torch we saw at the entrance to the temple, isn't it? Yeah. Uh-oh. Walked in here, and uh-oh. Look at this. Whoa, alright. So we've got this, whoa, Stalfos guy attacking us. This is awkward. We've got to avoid him and attack him at the same time, and all at the same time as trying to avoid falling down the middle. So, yeah, man, the difficulty level here is getting cranked up pretty quickly. There you go. And plus, wasn't that convenient, too, that he seemed to possess the mystical ability to just walk across that hole. Alright, now I'm going to take a moment here just to pause here with a Navi and just indicate here that these two Stalfos, I don't think there's any indication in the game that this happens. You just kind of find out that it happens. But this is an added challenge to this specific battle with these two specific Stalfos, is you need to take them out really quickly within the intervals between each other, because if you defeat one and take too long in defeating the second one, the first one will actually magically reassemble himself. So you can't afford to take too long with this battle, otherwise it'll potentially go on forever. So, yet another layer of difficulty to these adult fights. Alright, so we took that guy out. Wow, we got some serious slowdown with the frame rate there. Come on, old N64, don't fail me now. You gotta get these attacks off quick, because you can see how, you know, there are those little moments there where he lets his shield down, but he's pretty quick with pulling it back up again, you know? Oh! Oh, look at that! We got him just in time. That first Stalfos was just about to respawn. So that was lucky for us. We got the timing down. Alright. Big chest appears. What do we got? Ooh, new weapon. You found the fairy bow. On the select item subscreen, so blah blah blah. So like every other C item button, it tells you how to use it. And blah blah blah. So you can aim and release to let fly with an arrow. So basically this is the adult version of the fairy slingshot, is the fairy bow. And it works exactly the same way. You see, if you're not targeting something, then by pressing C, it goes to first person. And then again, just like with the slingshot, then you hold down the C button again, and you will load up an arrow, and then releasing the button releases the arrow in a straight line. So that's pretty convenient. Alright, so now we can do some stuff with this that we couldn't before. Not bad. Alright, let's check out this area here. It's another torch. So, we're actually going to go back this way first. Again, this is in the sake of saving time, just because I know the order that we've got to do this in here. The idea is that, remember, the pose that we're moving from frame to frame, they only did so when we got too close to them. So that's the idea here, is that now that we've got the fairy bow, we can actually hit them from a greater distance. So this is far enough that we're not going to spook the Poe off, so now we can actually shoot right into the picture frame and hit it. And that also destroyed the frame itself. So now that Poe is only limited to 2 places that it could potentially hide. So it's in that frame. So again, we don't want to get too close or it'll get spooked off. So just from kind of around the corner here, we'll hit with our bow again. And now it's only got the 1 frame left, so we can't go anywhere else. So it doesn't matter how close we are. And again, I think you can only hit it with the bow. Even the hook shot, never mind the distance element of it, it can't affect the picture frames anyway, so it's got to be the fairy bow. So, take care of that 3rd picture frame. That releases the Poe. And there the Poe, you saw it's got that flame that we want in its torch. So, come down, and it becomes like a regular Poe battle. Joelle, one of the Poe sisters, aim for her when she appears. Alright. So we've battled Poes before, namely in the graveyard outside Kakariko Village. So again, you kind of take the opportunity when they reappear to get an attack really quick. Uh-oh. There we go. And it dropped some arrows for us. And oh, look at that! The flame that she was carrying relit the torch. Not bad. So we can pick up some arrows now that are like how the Deku seeds functioned as ammo for a slingshot. Arrows are now obviously ammo for our bow. Aha! And another small key. That's the reason why we wanted to do this side first, rather than the other side. Because on the other side, there's going to be a locked door. So we would have had to come back this way anyway to get that key. Alright, and in this area, it's going to be the exact same deal. There's going to be another Poe hiding in the frame, so you... Oh, apparently we were too close. So it's not that frame, and it's not that frame, so just up the top here, I think? Yeah. So if we aim just around the corner like this, should be able to hit it. And then it's right in front of us. There we go. And then she's got nowhere else to hide but the last remaining frame. And we will repeat the same process as we did before. Target this Poe. Ah, look at that. Beth, one of the Poe sisters. Aim for when she appears. Now, you may notice there's a common link. This is sort of just an Easter egg sort of thing. The last one was named Joelle. This one is named Beth. And there's 4 of these Poe sisters we're having to track down. So if you've pieced this together, this actually is so break the fourth wall, real world reference. All of these Poe sisters are the names of the 4 sisters in the book Little Women. So the other 2 Poe sisters we're going to have to find after this are Meg and Amy, if you've read that book. And I didn't point this out before, but when I was fighting Joelle, you'll notice that I was kind of keeping my distance there. That's because if you get too close, then she'll target you with this, whoa, kind of a spin attack. So, there's nothing to gain when she's invisible like that. You can't attack her, so you may as well keep your distance and then move in. And then attack her as soon as she becomes solid again. Ooh, and a big chest. First, pick up those arrows before they disappear. And we got some chests here with some more ammo and hearts, if you're low on either of those. And this is the 3rd big chest that we've encountered, so it's gotta be the compass. Voila! Alright. So now, if we make our way all the way up to the top, we should find a locked door. There we go. We'll use up our last key to get through here. Oh. Another one of these weird rooms that looks like it's all twisted up. Stuff on the walls and stuff. Watch for shadows of monsters from the ceiling. So again, there's going to be a wall master in this area, so we'll wait for that shadow to appear. And again, make sure you keep moving so that he can't drop on top of you. And then quickly take him out. Get the rupee prize. This is a very strange room. There's like these stairways that like lead to nowhere. You can basically get up higher, but it doesn't, gain you access anywhere. Very strange. But we can climb up this ladder, and it looks like it's going to lead us into another one of these corridors, but this one is straight, not twisted. Isn't that interesting? There's a new enemy. This is a green bubble. Use your sword when its green fire vanishes. So these guys, unlike the blue bubbles, they just kind of hover and spot rather than chase you around. So you kind of have to get out your shield and just kind of walk into them. Like that. Or you could alternately just wait for them to naturally lose their flame. But, oh no, now look at this. Yet another example of us running into a locked door without a key. So we're once again gonna have to backtrack. You may be thinking, hang on though, we've already explored every area that we could access. Aha, but the difference is now we have the fairy bow, which we didn't have before. Remember some of those eyeball switches that we've been encountering? Now, we can affect them with arrows. So there will be yet more things to uncover, more secrets. And some of those chests are bound to have the required items that we need, including at least one more small key. Back through this twisty corridor. Man, that is trippy. You'll see back there now that we have got the compass showing there that we can now take out these bubbles from afar. Although it looks like all that did was get rid of their protective cloud. Go. Before we go back here, I just want to point out here, you may notice this here, our compass is pointing us straight here that there's supposedly a chest right here, but I don't see anything. That's kind of weird. Okay, but maybe what it really means to indicate is that it's on a different level. Huh. I switch. And there it is. So that's kind of a neat little thing there where even though the chest wasn't physically present for us to be able to access, the compass is still showing us that there is supposed to be a chest there. So that can help indicate to you that you should still be looking around for things to do. Although, in our case, it was just more arrows, and we were basically already maxed out, so... But again, in the spirit of showing you everything there is to know in the game, if you are low on ammo, that's useful. But now, this is the real reason why we came back here, is to get this eye switch. Check this out. Whoa! That twisted corridor straightened itself out. Isn't that interesting? And now that we've done that, that chest that was at the wall is now actually accessible. And we haven't encountered one of these gold chests yet either. Oh, before I continue yapping, just better take care of this guy before he grabs us. But yeah, I was just saying, we haven't encountered these gold and blue chests yet. So let's see what's in here. Must be something pretty important. Whoa, that's pretty. You got the boss key. Now you can get inside the chamber where the boss lurks. So in addition to small keys to get into locked rooms, even the room where the boss is lurking, you can't get in until you get the boss key. So that's just one more element of these adult dungeons. Used to be you would need to get the dungeon item, and then of course there was the dungeon map and compass, which I recommend getting, but you don't have to by any stretch. You could; those are basically optional, but you pretty much needed the dungeon item, the main item found in that dungeon, in order to advance. But now you're also going to need small keys and boss keys as well. Additionally, I think... Oh no, never mind. Yeah, oh, okay, never mind. We can also drop down here that we weren't able to access before. Shoot. Ah, these guys are so tricky to target. They hop around in this odd pattern. Where the heck? Where did he go? What the hell over here? Trying to escape from me, huh? There we go. I don't know why my nose is so damn itchy. This was not the time for my nose to be doing this while I decided to start recording a video. Alright, but anyway, you'll notice that this now gives us access. Well, that was close. Take that. Alright, so this gives us access to up top here, this area that we couldn't get to. We were in this room, but we couldn't access this spot up here. So very carefully, if we jump over here, very carefully, grab these hearts, and we can now also access this gold Skulltula that was too high for us to be able to reach before as well. Excellent. Do we have all the gold Skulltulas now? Nope. Still don't have that gold Skulltula marker, so there's got to be at least one more. Because if I'm not mistaken, I believe that there's 5 in this temple. Anyway, come back up this way, and nothing there. And this door take us into this room. And now, it looks like it's a wall master, except he was already down on the ground. This is a floor master. When it splits up, destroy all the pieces before they reunite. So you see how just before we were able to attack him, he turned green like that? That means that he is now invulnerable and he is about to charge you. So you're going to want to make sure that you've got your shield raised just in time for him to hit you, and then his defenses are lowered and you can run in. But then, look at this. Turns into 3 little parts, and you want to, they run around real quick, you want to really quickly take them out, because again, if you take too long, then they can reassemble and grow back into a full-sized 4-master all over again. So that's the tricky part about them. That first part, blocking his attack and then hitting him when his defense is down, that's easy enough. But when he splits into 3 parts, that's where it gets harder. Oh, and look at that, we found the other small key we were looking for. Alright. And again, because we defeated him, we can now re-exit the area and then go back up this way. And look at that. It brings us back into this area here where it was too high for us to get up. So basically, we can only go through that door from one direction, not the other. So now, we're going to come back here in order to proceed back to the eventual furthest point that we've been into the dungeon thus far. What we're going to want to do is shoot that eyeball switch again and retwist the corridor. And that will allow us to continue on our way. See, now it's all retwisted again, so that will now allow us to, again, access these areas on the wall. Just paying attention to the map can be a little bit confusing in this regard, because if the hallway isn't twisted the way that you want it to be, you might be confused as to how to enter where you want to go, because the map is just going to show you that you can access rooms from where you are. But again, depending on how that room is twisted, the entrance that you want to take might be on the floor or it might be up on the wall. So you'll have to experiment with shooting that eye switch, twist the corridor back and forth in order to get access to where you want to go. Alright, so now we're back here. And we'll finally be able to go through that locked door. And again, we've got these green bubbles here that can only be destroyed when their flame is gone. If it's not gone, you can bump into them with your shield. There we go. And now finally further into the dungeon. Now, this is interesting. We can jump up here into the center. There's the eye switch that we need to shoot there, but it's encased in ice. The only way to shoot it is to melt it. So, this is kind of the trick to this, is we want to shoot an arrow right through that flaming torch right in the middle. It takes some practice to get it lined up just right, in addition to, you know, you moving at the same time. It can be a little tricky. But, anyway. Hop back across here. And look at that. This hallway is now twisted when once it wasn't. And the reason we want to do that is to, as you would expect, as was the case before, again, gain access to new areas that we couldn't get to before because they were way up on the wall. Now, it's down on the ground. We can just drop down into here. This area with this weird checkerboard. Well, first, before we try to make our way across here, let's go up this way. Just going to show you what's here. This here also is a shortcut with a new vantage point if you wanted to, for whatever reason, get back into this area. Just pointing out that it's here, but we actually don't want to go back into here. We'll go back around to that main room. And you'll see here, this is kind of a tricky area here. You'll see that there's this area on the ceiling with this kind of jigsaw pattern. Some squares cut out of it. And oh, look there. If we pay attention to, we can see that there's a Skulltula hiding out for us there. So basically, this is what happens when we approach. Nav is going to explain it to us. Jordan, watch out. The ceiling is falling down. This thing falls and wants to smush anything that's in its way. So you got to pay attention to where those holes are kind of cut out of the ceiling, and that indicates that it's like a safe area. So if you stand right here, that's where the ceiling won't be able to get us. We want to go over here, hit the switch, and that opens up the exit on the other side of the room. And again, pay attention to those shadows or the holes in the ceiling so that you know where you can stand safely. And right here, there's a tiny chest as well. We can open that up. Just more ammo. And now we've got enough time to make our way safely to the room on the other side. Alright. Now, look at this. It's another picture frame with a third post sister in it, but it looks a little bit different here. There's these weird blocks up at the top, and no other picture frame, so it looks like it's not going to be a case of how those post sisters were quickly zooming from one picture frame to the other. It's just the one, so let's try shooting it with our arrow here. That triggers these blocks to fall down. Uh-oh! Triggers a timer. So, I don't really have a lot of time to explain this, so I'm just going to explain it as I'm doing it. Basically, it's a puzzle. And you have to assemble them by pushing them around the floor like this. And the puzzle basically just forms, when you do it correctly, a picture of the post sister. And once you assemble all the blocks, then the post sister will appear. You may have noticed the first thing that I did was take that one block and push it all the way out of the way. That's because that one block is actually an extra block. It is a red herring. We don't need that block. We only need these four. Uh-oh, 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 uh-oh. Oh, it's gonna be close. Shoot. Oof! Man, right at the last possible second. That was as close as it gets. This is Amy, one of the post sisters. Oh, shoot. Remember, when she does that spinning attack, she can't be harmed. And then as soon as she's done the spinning attack, she just goes ethereal again. So, alternately, you can just attack her with arrows from afar like that. But it takes a little bit longer, because the arrows do less damage than a jumping sword attack. Shoot! Although, I'm kind of botching this anyway, aren't I? I'm taking long because I'm misaiming with my sword attack. But if you can manage to pull off the jump sword attack, again, remember that does twice as much damage. And move in as... Yeah, because you got the limited range, so that was kind of why I was missing. There was still too much space between me and her. But anyway, third post sister taken care of, and a third torch relit. That only leaves one more to go. I believe it's Meg is the last one we've got to track down. Okay. And looky here. We're up on this balcony that we couldn't get to before. And look down there. It's the final post sister. Before we jump down, I just want to check around here. Make sure that there's not... Yeah, okay. I thought there might have been a gold Skulltula up here. I know there was on one of the other walls that we got already in this room, but I just wanted to point out to you here, because again, remember, there's no staircase leading up to this balcony here. The only way to get up here is through from the other side, the door that we just came through. So once we jump out down here, we won't be able to get back up. So anyway, we're good to go though. We'll jump back down here and confront the last post sister. Whoa. I'm seeing double. 4 crusties. So if we target this Poe here, Meg, one of the post sisters, if she splits into multiple images, you need to figure out which one is the real one. So the trick is you just got to kind of pay attention to them, and the thing that gives them away is that the real Meg, and not just one of the 3 illusions, will do a little spin. So once you figure out which one is doing the spinning, that's the one you're going to want to target and shoot with an arrow. So if we not target, so like this, we can see all 4 of them, and we'll wait till one of them gives themselves away. Come on. There you go. Target that one. Shoot. Oh! We took too long, though. We took too long. Shoot. Normally she'll spin as soon as she reappears. There we go. Shoot you with an arrow, and now we just do this like 3 more times, basically. There we go. Yeah, again, if you take too long, she'll only wait patiently to be shot for so long before she charges you like that. Okay. I think one more hit will do it. And then all of the torches will finally be relit. There we go. Oh, alright, I was wrong. One more hit. This one should be the one. Aha! Alright. Look at that. And now that they're all lit, elevator finally gets raised again. Just before I drop down, I want to quickly... oh, I missed those arrows, dang it. I should show this too. So here, remember this area was... That door was being blocked by that a block that we played the Song of Time for. This door here, if we were so inclined to re-enter that area, now that we've got our bow, we can shoot that eye switch. We didn't do that before. But I don't think we need to. I'm just going to... I was just saying I want to quickly consult with my map here, and according to my compass, it doesn't look like there's any other chests here except for one left in the basement, but that's the area we haven't explored yet, and that's exactly where we're going now that we have access to the elevator again. So, here we go. Alright. So, circular area here, and we can hear that there's that last gold Skulltula somewhere lurking in this area. In this room here, it looks like there's only 2 open archways, but they're both blocked off. That's blocked off with a gate. That's blocked off with a gate. So, the trick to this room is here you'll see that there's these 2 sort of protrusions from the sides of the walls, and either one of them we can approach, grab, and push. And by doing so, those open gateways will relocate themselves to give us access to other spots. Now, this gateway still doesn't lead us to anywhere, but this one does. So we can go in here and hit this floor switch. And that opened a gate to somewhere else. We don't know where yet. So, we'll just repeat the process. We'll push again. I don't think that you have to go counterclockwise, necessarily, but I've always done it. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think that that's just the best way to do it. Like, it just kind of works out that way, that for saving time. But so now we'll hit that floor switch, and one of these side rooms here is going to have that gold Skulltula in it that we're looking for. Does this access us anywhere? No, that's still blocked off. So we'll push again to make us go counterclockwise again. And again, stepping on that elevator will just bring us right back up to the main floor again, so we'll avoid that. Take out that big Skulltula. And here's that last chest that we were looking for. But again, it's just more ammo. And I think in this area here is where the last gold Skulltula is. So grab it. And now, if I'm not mistaken, if we consult our map, yep, look at that. By next to where it says Forest Temple, the gold Skulltula icon appears, indicating that we have all gold Skulltula tokens in this dungeon. Alright. And we will push one more time. And this away. Now you can see here on our compass, up ahead is the skull icon, indicating that that's where the boss is. And we haven't seen that before now either. Remember how we were seeing that locked doors now appear with the small keys? And we already got the boss key, which, again, I didn't point that out yet either, how on the right-hand side of the dungeon map, that third slot up at the top now gets filled with our boss key when we find it. We never had to worry about that before, right? It was only ever the dungeon map and the dungeon compass that we got to fill in. So that reveals now what that third slot is for, to show that we've actually managed to find the boss key. But I'm just pointing this out too now that the boss room also has like a special chained up lock there. So that's what we need the boss key for, is to unlock that. Anyway, we come this way, and that last floor switch will open up that final gate. So now we can finally make our way to the final boss of the first adult dungeon of the Forest Temple. And it works exactly the same way. You just approach it, and if you have the boss key, you'll be able to open it. Alright. Well, more of these empty picture frames with nothing in it. They all look the same. Let's see here, and if we walk into the middle of this room here, nothing going on, and we can run around and check these paintings. Huh, that's strange. Nothing going on. Nothing here. Well, if we try to leave the area, though... Uh-oh. That ain't good. Oh my god, it's Ganondorf! What? Or is it? Evil spirit from beyond, Phantom Ganon. Whoa! Holy crap, flying horse? Magically going into paintings? This is crazy! Alright, so, check this out. We're gonna have to shoot him as he's coming out of the painting. And you may notice that he's coming out of two. The one to shoot him out of, see there's like a decoy one? If you shoot the decoy one, then he'll auto-attack you and do lots of damage. So the way to tell which one is the real one is the one that appears to be like properly colored in. The other one, that's the decoy Ganondorf, will be a little bit more darker and have less detail. So that one, for example, I think that's the real one. And you want to shoot him just as he's coming through the painting, while he turns the light like that. Alright, so hit him 3 times like that, he loses his horse. Now it's just you and him, Phantom Ganon. It's an evil ghost of the Forest Temple. He comes out of one of the pictures. Yeah, we knew that already. Answer his magic attack with an attack of your own. Well, I hope you like baseball or tennis, because that's how this battle is going to go down. Because our arrows aren't strong enough to hit him. We actually... See, our arrows do nothing. We actually want to use our sword to hit his attacks back. So, the name of the game here... Oof, that was rough. The name of the game here is timing. Try not to move around too much, because you can actually change the trajectory of his blast, and then it'll just fly past him, and it won't hit him. Try to get some distance, too, because that'll help you with your timing. This is tricky. Not gonna lie. Even with all my experience, it can be tough to time your sword attack. And the longer you do this, the faster his blasts speed up. I have not been performing terribly impressively so far, I have to say. Ooh, finally got him. Alright, move in. Get a jump attack in and maybe some regular slash attacks while he's down. Try to get in as much damage as you can, because obviously you want to limit the amount of times you're going to have to do this sequence of batting the attack back and forth, because this is clearly the most difficult portion. So while he's down, try to make the most of it. Crap. See, the more distance you have with him, obviously the easier it is for you. Of course, the easier it is for him as well. You saw that one time, the last time we hit him, we only had to hit it back one time before we got him. But at any rate, we managed to best him. Oh, look at that, he's all like decaying and everything. Hey kid, you did quite well. It looks like you may be gaining some slight skill. But you have defeated only my phantom. When you fight the real me, it won't be so easy. What a worthless creation that ghost was. I will banish it to the gap between dimensions. Sheesh. Alright, though. Another dungeon bested. Alright. And you know what that means? New heart container. Woohoo! Alright. We're back in the Chamber of Sages. We haven't been here since we talked to Roru. Hey, it's Saria. Thank you. Because of you, I could awaken as a sage. Saria is a sage all this time. Wow. That's quite a revelation. I am Saria, the sage of the Forest Temple. I always believed that you would come, because I know you. No. You don't have to explain it to me. Because it is destiny that you and I can't live in the same world. I will stay here as the forest sage and help you. Now, please take this medallion. Nice. So that makes this our second medallion now. Not bad. You received the Force Medallion. Saria awakens as a sage and adds her power to yours. Awesome. Saria will always be your friend. Oh, it transports us outside the old Deku tree. What the heck? Hi there. I'm the Deku tree sprout. Kinda cute. In his own way, I guess. Because you and Saria broke the curse on the Forest Temple, I can grow and flourish. Thanks a lot. Oh, heck. Don't mention it. Hey, have you seen your old friends? None of them recognized you with your grown-up body, did they? That's because the Kokiri never grow up. Even after 7 years, they're still kids. You must be wondering why only you have grown up. Well, as you might have already guessed, you are not a Kokiri. You are actually a Hylian. What? Say what? I am happy to finally reveal the secret to you. Wow. I get this whole time. Not even a Kokiri. Crazy. Some time ago, before the King of Hyrule unified this country, there was a fierce war in our world. One day, to escape from the fires of the war, a Hylian mother and her baby boy entered this forbidden forest. The mother was gravely injured. Her only choice was to entrust the child to the Deku Tree, the guardian spirit of the forest. The Deku Tree could sense that this was a child of destiny, whose fate would affect the entire world, so he took him into the forest. After the mother passed away, the baby was raised as a Kokiri, and now, finally, the day of destiny has come. You are a Hylian, and were always bound to leave this forest. And now, you have learned your own destiny, so you know what you must do. That's right, you must save the land of Hyrule. Now, Jordan, break the curses on all of the temples and return peace to Hyrule. Wow, look at that. So it looks like the legacy of the Great Deku Tree will live on through his successor. How about that? I'm the Deku Tree Sprout. Oh, he says the same thing again. I thought maybe he might say something different. Sorry, I'm just wasting time now. Alright. So, that's one temple down, 4 to go. And look at this, now that we defeated the Forest Temple, all of the enemies that were out and about are all gone. We've brought peace back to the forest once again. When we talk to these other Kokiri kids here, I feel like I've known you for a long time, mister. Yeah, it's true, they don't even recognize me. And before I go any further, I want to take care of one other thing here. I want, actually, to... first, I'm going to turn this back to night, because there's actually one more gold Skulltula in this area that I want to grab while I'm here. So it zooms us back to there, and then I want to play the Minuet of Forest to warp us all the way back to the Sacred Forest Meadow, because that is where it is located. Oh, the giant moblin is back again. We know how to take care of him at least. Oh, that was not good. I knew that I was pushing it there, but I got impatient. Ah! Crap. My Z targeting was off. I wasn't looking the right direction. That's my fault. There we go. Navi got to say, the cloud over Death Mountain. There was something strange about it. So that's Navi now prompting us that we should go to the Death Mountain area, and that's where the next temple is basically going to be. Whoa, we'll wait for this moblin to pass us first. This is the other reason why we wanted to warp here, is because we want access to this ladder here. If we didn't warp here and wanted to get here the way we would normally go, all the way through the Lost Woods, we would still have to be stuck going all the way through the hedge maze here in order to get back to this point to get to the ladder. And this is the reason we want to get up to the ladder, is because we want to get up on top of the hedge maze, so that way we can access where that gold Skulltula is. Alrighty. So, now that we've got that taken care of, now we can just hop across the hedges, avoiding all those moblins. Bye! And we'll just quickly make our way back to the Lost Woods, and then just take any exit in order to quickly warp us into the forest. And then out back into Hyrule Field. If we wanted to, while we were just there in the Lost Woods, we could once again take that portal that takes us straight to Goron City. If we wanted to directly start right away, taking on what Navi was basically prompting us to, that we've got to go to Death Mountain. The reason, however, that I wanted to go out to the field is because we actually, before we do anything else, what we're going to want to do is return to the Temple of Time very briefly before undertaking the rest of our quest. And the reason why will become apparent as soon as we get there. Technically, we don't really have to do this right now, but I like to get it out of the way. It'll be useful for us to know it. That is to say, to know what it is that we're going to learn upon arriving. So here we are. God, that's still so depressing. This whole area, all just totally decrepit and condemned, and all the re-dead just lurking around. Dang, man. Okay. And we're going to return to where we got the Master Sword from. And here is Sheik waiting for us once again. You destroyed the wicked creatures that haunted the temple and awakened the sage. But there are still other sages who need your help. In order to awaken all the other sages, you must become even more powerful. You must travel over mountains, underwater, and even through time. If you want to return to your original time, return the Master Sword to the pedestal of time. By doing this, you will travel back in time 7 years. Huh. The time will come when you will have to return here quickly. I will teach this to you for when that time comes. The song to return you to the Temple of Time, the Prelude of Light. So here we are, learning a new warp song. Alright, so we'll just play that real quick. You have learned the Prelude of Light. As long as you hold the Ocarina of Time and the Master Sword, you hold time itself in your hands. Jordan, we shall meet again. Stop doing that! But anyway, I'm not going to do it right now, but that's interesting that we've just learned that this now time travel is an actual mechanic that we can activate whenever we want. So you see by us approaching the pedestal of time, our action icon now changes to say drop. So we can actually replace the Master Sword where we found it and go back to being a child if we wanted. So that's very, very interesting. And now that we have also learned, look at this, the Prelude of Light, in addition to the Minuet of Forest, which I neglected to point out when we learned it, but there it is. We will now be able to use the Prelude of Light to warp back here to the Temple of Time. And that will take us to this hexagonal little platform here, right there. Alright, so now that we've got that out of the way, I do believe that we can continue on with our adventure, though if I'm not mistaken, I think there may be 1 or 2 little minor side quests that we will get to before getting to Death Mountain, as Navi basically prompted us to. I still got to do a little bit of work planning out these videos in advance, so I'm not sure exactly what the next video is going to be, but it's going to be a fun one, so stay tuned for that.